people think HIV and they just think, it's all over, it's coming out, it's gonna get me. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer and I am HIV positive. This is a channel about my life living with HIV, if you didn't know that. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and please hit subscribe and the notifications and all that good stuff so you know when my new videos come out, because a lot of you do not ever know when I put out a new video. In fact, there's people from 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago now, that will see somehow a video and say, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in forever. I thought you went away. And I'm like, I have like 200 videos out. Where have those people been? But for some reason, they don't know because they don't click notifications and YouTube doesn't send them a video, and then they think that I've disappeared. But I haven't. I'm here. I didn't go anywhere, so I've been here for a long time. I always forget to say this, but follow me on Instagram. It's there's a link in the description. You can go straight from there, or if you just want to look up VonGirl24, put it here, VONGIRL 24. I'm on Instagram every day. I'm a big Instagrammer. I love it. It's really fun. So if you want to see more of my daily life, that's where you would find it. If you would like to support my channel, I have a link in the description for that as well. Every little bit is very much appreciated. Merci beaucoup. I just got back from Quebec. I spent a week there with my husband and got married June 12th, and then I came home and I went back another month later and I spent an amazing week there with him, and I'm actually going back in another week, and I'll explain more of that later as to why I'm going back. I'm really excited. Let's see, what else? You know, this would be so much easier if it was a podcast, because I could just look at what I have on paper here, but instead you have to look at the top of my head, but that's just the way it is because I don't have a podcast, but there's a lot of stuff on here and I want to make sure I don't miss any of it. Okay, so the video today came to my attention through a Facebook post. I have a private support group through Facebook for HIV positive women, and one of the members had written in there, she's from Australia, and she had written a post about something that had happened to her recently in regards to discrimination with HIV. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I really personally have not dealt with any discrimination. The only time I feel it is through YouTube comments. You know who you are, you little you-know-whats. But other than that, I really don't feel it in my daily life. I haven't had anybody through work or, I don't know, a restaurant. I can't even think of anything really, but I haven't had, or like my, friends or family. I haven't had anything in front of my face where somebody said, we're not comfortable with you being here, or you doing this, or you using our silverware, or like nothing like that has ever happened. So I don't, personally, I haven't felt it. But this, I want to say woman, she's 25. She wrote a post about something that had happened to her, and it was just so upsetting. And then there was many people that wrote on the thread. Remember, everybody in this group is HIV positive. So 3 other women had written experiences that they had had as well. So I wanted to first share the first woman's post, and then I will share some of the other posts that were written below it. I just feel like this is so important to share what truly people with HIV deal with. And I have to say, that I know for sure that even though I'm very, very well aware of the Ryan White story, because I grew up, we were like the same age, very well aware of why he left his town, because they were discriminated against him going to school where he was trying to go to school. They were afraid that he would give them HIV, and so they moved to another town, and his mom said, F that. She's like, I'm going somewhere else. We're not putting up with this. And even Ryan was like, we're not putting up with this. So, I knew back then that he could not give it to anybody. I understood that. But I have to say that in all these stories of discrimination, there's that part of my lizard brain that gets the fear of people that are HIV negative. And even when I was HIV negative, I think these thoughts might have gone through my head too. And part of it is about people with HIV being in swimming pools. And I know rationally that there's no way that somebody in a swimming pool could give somebody HIV, but when you're negative and you think of HIV, you think, well, there could be that one molecule that could just float away from them, and somehow it's going to like go up my nose, or it's going to touch my skin and burrow its way into my body. And these are all incredibly irrational thoughts, just so you all know that that's not how it's transmitted. It doesn't float off our bodies, and it's a very weak virus as it is. It's like really the perfect storm has to happen for it to enter another person's body, and it does have to be completely two people together, mushing their parts together, literally. I mean, it just doesn't float off a body. It doesn't come off in a sneeze. It doesn't come out of saliva. It doesn't come from a bite or spit, any of these things. But I do, sadly enough, understand a little bit where their brains come from. So this is really not to put down the people that discriminated against these women that went through this. It's just to help educate and bring awareness to people that really might not understand it. And I'm hoping that just by me explaining this, it helps change your perspective a little bit, you know. And also for people that are out there that are positive, that have dealt with this too, it's just to kind of let you know that you're not alone, that this does happen. And it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Okay, so the first post started from Callie from Australia. She's 25. This just happened to her. This was about, I'd say a week or so ago. She says, I just have a question. Has anyone or their PAWS children been told they weren't allowed in a pool because of being HIV positive and undetectable? Her son is undetectable. Also note that he has been in the same pool twice before. No one voiced any concerns. She said, this is the backstory. She says, on my way to the local children's hospital this morning, I get called from a physiotherapist this morning to tell me that she looked into my son's medical history and he is not to come to the hydrotherapy session anymore. I asked why, and she said that because he's a risk. This lady also explained that a doctor didn't allow another HIV positive child into the pool for the same reason, and she was going to contact another hospital on the other side of Australia. This is Australia. I mean, this is, okay, I'm just gonna hold that thought, but I feel like this is an area of, you know, great education, and people should understand that this baby is of zero threat. She said they were going to call another hospital on the other side of Australia because they have a higher number of HIV positive children. She says, I'm aware that you can't transmit HIV in a pool, but was just wondering if anyone else, this is what she's asking the group, if anyone else has been in a similar situation. She thinks that it's a bit ridiculous, and how kind of her to just say it's a bit ridiculous. I can only imagine. And I will say that she was diagnosed after the birth of her son. She tested negative before he was born. And I hope, Kelly, that I'm saying this right, but I believe she tested negative right before he was born. They didn't know he had it. He ended up testing positive after he started getting sick, and then both her and the father ended up testing positive. So that typically this doesn't happen. Babies can be born today without HIV when the mother's positive. It's a very easy type of pregnancy today. They just take medication. The baby takes the medication for like 6 weeks after. Babies don't get HIV from just being inside the mother. It happens during the birthing process. So a lot of people don't know that. I am new to this information, and I was told that by somebody who was born positive, and her twin brother was not. And she, Brenda, hi Brenda, Brenda was born positive. So she explained it to me. It happens during the birthing process. Obviously Brenda's mother was HIV positive and probably not treated at the time, and that's how Brenda ended up with HIV. Back to Kelly and her baby. So her baby has another condition. Kelly, I'm so sorry, I don't have my notes up in front of me, but I know that your son, I want to say, I don't even know, I'm not totally sure, but maybe spina bifida, maybe not, maybe that's not it. But there is another condition. I know he has something else. And so the hydrotherapy, I think, was probably for that. So I'm not sure where Kelly is right now with that whole situation, but it did stir up some other conversation from some other women. So Callie is the next person that I want to talk to. She wrote in on this post. She's from Chicago, and she's in her early 30s now. But in 2007, I think that is the right math, she was 14 years old. And she said she experienced something similar. She said they had tried to kick her off the swim team for her freshman year of high school. Someone started a rumor that I had HIV. She was also, Callie was born with it. I refused, and a couple of the girls quit the team. I was bullied freshman year because of it. It's a long story, but I never confirmed the rumor, yet many students believed I was infected, so I was treated differently. It was awful. It followed me the next 3 years of high school. Only people who talked to me were my friends and their friends. She said it didn't stop me. I placed 5th in the state for the 100-yard butterfly my senior year. Love that. And I graduated high school with honors and top 10% of my class. You go, Callie. And I'm so sorry you're going through this, she says. Don't let ignorant people bring you down. It's easier for someone to judge when they don't know the facts. Be strong for your son and advocate for him. Ugh, I'm gonna start crying. It's the best you can do. Everything will be okay, beautiful. Everything will be okay, beautiful, is what she says with a heart. These women are so amazing to each other. So Callie, I spoke to her and I asked if I could share her story, and she said yes. By the way, these names have been changed to protect these women's anonymity. So I asked them to give me what they'd like for their stage names. So that's what Callie gave me. I love that. That's not her real name. We changed it for the video. Anyways, she said that she's actually glad it happened. She said that it actually made her stronger, and I'm just like, girl, you amaze me. So that that was Callie's feeling about the whole the whole feeling for what she went through, the experience. And I thought that was amazing, because I can only imagine being 14 years old, being born with HIV, clearly no choice there, not wanting anyone to know, because you're pretty much told from the time that you have it growing up that it's something you probably shouldn't talk about, for all the reasons we all know why. That's the story I hear from everybody that's been born with it. It's kind of like you don't really say anything about it. And so anyways, she stuck it to him. She stayed on the team even though people quit. That could have just pretty much annihilated somebody at that age. It's such a fragile age. And she stuck with it, and she ended up graduating to the top of her class, and she placed 5th in the state finals for the 100-yard butterfly, which, dude, that's crazy. Swimming's hard. I can't do that. I'm not good at swimming. Okay, my next lady who chimed in on this post is from Uganda. So we have people from all over. We've got Australia, US, Uganda, and my last one's going to be from Canada. I love my women. They're so amazing. So freaking amazing. Like, who am I? I'm like friends with all these people from all over the world. I love it. Okay, so Mackenzie from Uganda. This one breaks my heart, and I don't think there was any great resolution here, but it needs to be noted what happened to her. She says, in high school, I ran for a leadership post at my school, but the head teacher directly told me to concentrate on taking my ARVs instead of becoming a leader. She knew about my status since I always needed her, and I always needed her permission to go for my drugs because I was in a boarding school. She said that single statement literally shattered me and destroyed my self-esteem. Like, the thought of that is so sad. Like, I don't know whether she ended up going for a leadership position, but she basically told her, you shouldn't do it. You need to concentrate on taking your medication. That's the only thing. And I understand, like, maybe there was like concern, but that doesn't mean that she can't do things that everyone else is doing. That, and clearly that made her feel singled out completely, and that she wasn't able to do, or wasn't, it didn't have a feeling that she could do, even though she knew she could, but someone was trying to stop her from doing it. And as she stated, it destroyed her self-esteem, and that is just awful. I mean, these are young girls. Mackenzie also was born with it in Uganda. So yeah, tragic. Okay, so the last woman I want to mention is Denise Wozniak, and there's no relation to Steve, if you guys know who Steve is, Apple Computer. She's from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Go Canada, I love a Canadian. Denise has a TEDx video that I'm going to put in the description. I'd love to do a TEDx. I think that'd be so cool, but she did it. And so check out the link for Denise. She's on there, and she talks about her diagnosis. And she was diagnosed, I don't know the dates, but I know it was way back. Like, Denise has been positive, I want to say close to 30 years, if not. I could be a little bit off there, but I know it was way back. And back when everyone thought about it, well, they still think about it not really the right way, but back when stigma was quite strong. So she said, I had the same treatment at a well-known ranch spa that also has a swimming pool. She says, they told her no massages and no swimming. And so someone wrote in, well, my God, how did they know? And she says, I went for a fitness test there, and the fitness instructor asked if I was on medication. I wrote down the names, then she found out what the medication was for. Next thing, I was met at the door to the restaurant by the owner, who told me they would have to stop work on me because the massage therapist may have been infected through my skin and the oils. Okay. Then they told me it was not a good idea to use the pool. I love that she asked this. She said that she asked if she could use the toilet. Would that be okay? And they said they thought it might be okay. They have to check. At first, I was in tears and stunned. And then I phoned the HIV Society, and they immediately phoned the lodge and told them that they were making a very big mistake and could face discrimination charges, which that obviously made her feel better. She says after that, she just went public and she hasn't looked back since. She says, I call out anyone with this attitude and talk to radio stations, TV, and healthcare professionals to tell them this will not be tolerated anymore. I also had a manicurist who saw me on TV, and then she said she could no longer do my nails. Oh my gosh. You know, it's funny. I always wonder if my hairdresser feels that way. Like, I didn't give it two thoughts. I'm like, of course you can't get HIV from my hair, but she always asks me how I'm doing when I get my hair done, and I always think she's a little worried about me. And I always say, oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't know. It's hard to explain to people what undetectable means every time you see them, that you're not affected. The virus is so minute in your system, the blood test can't even find it. My doctor has explained to me that it's not even in my blood anymore. It doesn't exist flowing through my bloodstream. It's locked, hidden away in lymph nodes. I mean, it's not doing anything that I know of. I feel fine. But anyways, but people think HIV and they just think, it's all over. It's coming out. It's gonna get me. But it's not. It really isn't. Ask my husband, because if anybody should be positive, it's him, and he's not. So yeah, okay. But anyways, yeah, check out Denise's video. I think it's a great TED Talk. I really liked it. She's awesome. And yeah, I just wanted people to know that there was these kind of situations that happen. Denise's, I think, happened, I would guess maybe more than 15 years ago with this spa. Still unacceptable, totally unacceptable. But Callie in Australia, this just happened last week, and this is her baby. Like, this is so sad and awful. And I can't even imagine being rejected for anything, like my child being rejected for something, let alone something he has no control over. He can't help that he has HIV. I mean, this is your precious little baby. This is just so sad. And I feel for her, and she's taken it quite well, I have to say. I mean, my God, she thinks it's a bit ridiculous. I'm like, I'd be freaking out. But yeah, I'm impressed with her ability to wrap her brain around this and be mature about it when it's so irrational and crazy. But okay, so that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to share these stories with you guys and give you a little insight into what discrimination can look like with HIV. And, this is just people just trying to live their lives. This isn't even like someone trying to date. You can only imagine how much harder that is, having to disclose to somebody. This is just people just trying to, do normal things in their life, and they're treated like they're lepers. This is not the same thing as leprosy in any way. It's not even, it's like two different worlds. People need to understand that HIV is contained. It's not a threat to anybody in any way. But like I said, my little lizard brain of being HIV negative, I understand that fear. I really do. And I hate that I do. I really do. I hate that I get that. Cause I want to like have a great argument and change everybody's mind. And, but I do get the fear. I do. It's, but now that I'm on the other side of the fence, obviously the perspective is different, and you just want to change everybody's mind. But I get why it's hard to. I really do. But just, some food for thought. Just know that this is craziness, and you can't get it in a pool. You can't. You just can't. Or by kissing. Oral sex, I'm still going to say, is like 0 to no risk. Very low. Look it up. It's very, very, very low risk. I still don't know anybody who's had that happen to them. So, and kissing, people will still go, but what if there's like a cut in their mouth, or, you know, this and that, there's a cold sore. It's still, this isn't a way, this is not a transmission route. It's not. So I'll put a link in my description also for my video about you can't get HIV from, that I did with my son. And oh, and if you haven't looked, Eric and I did a video about him taking an HIV test when I was in Quebec class. I worked really hard on it, and I edited it, and it took a long time. I hope you guys watch it and like it, because yeah, it was my first video that Eric and I made together, or it was our first video that we made together without being on a live. So it's the first time we just looked into a camera and talked, and yeah, it was great. It was fun. I think we have a good time together. It's pretty evident. I miss him right now. I'm just here with me and my pillow and my dog. Here, I'll have you say hi to Finn really quick, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up. Finny, say hi to everybody. And Sky's over there, of course. It's Mutt and Lang, always. These two follow me everywhere. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go now. Have a great night. It's clearly nighttime here. I tried to do this video all day long, and I procrastinated because I always worry about lighting during the day and the sun changing, and then by the time I decide to do it, the sun's going down, and it's just easier to do it at night, because then the pressure about the lighting outside is gone. So yay. Okay, so I will be back soon to tell you guys about my next project and why I'm going back to Quebec. I'll just say Barcroft video. Okay, bye!